It's recently come out that Australia has replaced China as the top lender to Pacific nations amid declining loans from Beijing. Now, what do you make of this?
I mean, Australia has always been way ahead of China in lending in the Pacific. What's notable is since about 2016, China's aid to the region kind of peaked and has gradually been going down ever since. Whereas Australia's outlays have, largely either stayed the same or gone up a little bit.
Does this shift signal any change in Beijing's diplomatic strategy for the Pacific, or is it indicative of declining influence in the region?
It's indicative of Beijing not having as much foreign reserves to throw around as it used to have to throw around. And that's why it dates back to 2016. So they faced basically a sell-off of the RMB between 2015 and 2016, which meant they went from having a surplus of around about 7 trillion to a much more modest surplus in sort of foreign exchange terms or in foreign reserve terms. What you can extrapolate is that now when China gives a loan, it's much more thought out than it was in the past. So if a country is receiving loans, you can be sure that this is a much clearer signal than in the past when it was much more scattergun. So they are in many ways a better indicator of where a country is in terms of China's priorities. Whereas if you look back to, say, 2009, when the money was just flying out the door, every Pacific nation was getting showered in these concessional loans, and that led to quite a substantial amount of debt, which is another reason why they've pulled back, because the narrative of debt trap diplomacy has been very effective, and they don't really want to be seen to be giving these big concessional loans anymore.
The Pacific is home to a good chunk of Taiwan's 12 remaining diplomatic allies. Now, amid this trend where Beijing is lending less to Pacific nations, are there any implications for Taiwan diplomatically in the region?
I mean, it does, on the surface of it, offer an opportunity for Taiwan. But if you look at the Lowy data, which is where you've got your information from, you'll find that Taiwan has slipped out of the top 10 donors in the region. It used to be well up there in the top 10 because it had more allies. What's happened is, as Taiwan has lost allies, the funding has just been withdrawn. It hasn't been reallocated to the existing allies or reallocated to the region as a whole, which might have been a kind of arguably a better holding strategy for Taiwan in the region to, okay, you're losing your bilateral partners, but maybe give the money regionally to maintain some sort of influence. And generally speaking, that hasn't been done.